the onbotjava platform and how FTC teams use it to create robot code, organize files, and build teleop and autonomous programs. So onbotjava is a built-in coding system for FTC that lets us write Java code directly into a browser. So you can either use the browser or you can use the web hardware client. So the web hardware client requires you to be plugged into the robot at all times. That is what's currently showing on the screen. Now, if you want to use the browser, you would open up your Google, and you're going to switch your Wi-Fi by going down here, clicking this, and then you're going to click onto your robot. And then you're going to have to type the password in unless you already have it saved onto your networks. So you're going to have to wait for that to connect. So while that's connecting, typically, I like to use the web browser only because it's like a bigger screen whenever I'm coding. But it's also really good to use the cord sometimes in case you have to ask questions for like Google or something like that. Because sometimes there's errors that you're completely like unsure why that's happening. So sometimes you might just have to research, and it's easier with the cable, so you're not going back and forth on different Wi-Fi's. Okay, so now that it's connected, you're gonna come up to your search bar and you're gonna do 192.168.430.1:8080, and then you're gonna press enter, and then it's gonna pull this up. So you're gonna click on onbotjava. So in onbotjava, everything is organized into folders and files just like on a computer. So folders help organize your robot code into sections. For example, you might use a team code folder where all robot code is stored, or separate folders for subsystems like drivetrain or intake. Files are where the actual code is written. Each file is usually one robot program or one subsection. So this first one is where all of our code is. So we just have every single one of our programs there. Now the second section, we have different sections. So we have subsections, and inside those subsections we have programs that we use, okay? And so for an example, you might have a file called drive teleop for driving the robot, or an auto red left for an autonomous program. Now, we typically use two different op modes for our robots in FTC. We have teleop and onbotjava. Oh, not onbot, sorry. We have teleop and autonomous that we use through the onbotjava platform. And so the teleop means driver controlled mode. In teleop, you use gamepads to control the robot, like driving, turning, and using mechanisms manually. So during the autonomous, this means the robot runs by itself without a driver. It follows pre-programmed instructions like driving forward, scoring a game piece, or parking. Now, to show you how to create a file, I like to press here, and then when you press add file, it automatically goes to this top one. So it will come up with file location, file type, file name, and the op mode type. So I typically leave the file location alone, and I don't typically put in a file type. So when it comes to the file name, so I'm going to name it Mechanism Drive so that my file is already ready for when we teach in the next lesson. So you always have to start with a capital. So Mechanism Drive. And then since I already have this file, I'm just going to add the number for the next version. And then you always have to add .java. And so with the op mode, you can select autonomous or teleop. And so with this one, I'm going to select teleop, and the only difference when creating a file is really whether you select autonomous or teleop. And then you're going to press create. So this is what's going to show up when you create that file. And so if you want to create a subsection, I like to click here, click this one, and then I like to right click it, hit new, hit folder, and then I'm going to name it blue_auto so that all of my autos for the blue side will go into here. So it will always ask if you want to create a default package. Just hit OK. There's not really another option. Okay, so then I'm gonna click this arrow, and you see in blue auto now it is created. So I'm gonna click that file. I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna hit new, and I'm gonna hit file. So this is the exact same thing we just put up earlier, except for it's gonna save into a subsection. So I'm gonna name it blue auto. Say I put in the limelight, blue auto limelight dot java. Oh, okay. And so I'm gonna set this to autonomous since it's an autonomous code. So then I'm gonna press create, and that's how you create your files and everything there. And so some teams might have a problem with the control hub, and their control hub might end up crashing. It's happened quite a few times with us, so we've learned to save it on multiple different things. So as like our main coder, I typically save it on 3 different USB drives, 2 different Google Docs accounts, 2 different to 3 different computer files. I save it as many places as I can because I don't want to lose my code again. Because losing it mid-comp sucks. So then I'm going to show y'all how to do this in blocks. Before that actually, I'm going to show you how to upload the files in case you have a USB. So plug in your USB, or if you have it on a file. So I don't have any files that I haven't uploaded already, so I'm just going to upload one that I've uploaded before. So when you click your file, if it's already existed in that drive hub, this is what will pop up. But if it doesn't, it will upload your file. Okay? And so if you wanted to change your settings from like light, dark, there's this gear that you'll click. So you can change your theme, your background, your default package, your font size, and then the indent using, and then the tab size, and everything like that you want to change, you can set up. Okay? And so if you change anything, make sure you press save as always, and then you can go to blocks. And with the blocks, you can create a new op mode, and it's actually pretty different from creating it with onbotjava. And so then you can upload op modes, you can download offline block editors, you can download all op modes. So to create a new one, you're going to press create new op mode. You're going to type in the name, so teleop, and I'm just going to name mine teleop. And so this sample section is basically whatever you click, so it gives you all sorts of samples, as you can see. And so you can, depending on what you're using, you can click on that sample, and that sample will give you a sample code. So say you had a tank drive. You can click basic tank drive, press OK, and then it gives you the basic code. And then it will also give you that into the teleop version. And then on the side, you'll see a whole bunch of things like logic, loops, math, gamepad. All of this is where you find your code blocks. As you can see, it's different depending on what you're using, depends on the type of blocks you're going to use. And so you can also like save the op mode, download the op mode, download image of blocks. And so another great resource when it comes to programming would probably be FTC Sims. So let's see, new. Okay, FTC Sims. So this is another thing. You always got to reconnect to the internet when you go back to Google. So as it was switching, okay, now that we're connected, run FTC Sims again in your browser. So click on it, and this should pop up with FTC Sims. And so you're gonna scroll. So the good thing with FTC Sims is it will also give you like a setup of that season's field. And now to unlock all of this that you see is locked, you'll have to create an account. But you also have to, before you can skip the things, you have to complete that previous one. So before you can move on to FTC Sensors, you have to complete FTC Intro and FTC Movement. Okay, so you can click onto FTC Intro, click onto this, and so it will give you a little introduction. Of course, go through that once it loads. Okay, so this is what shows up. Okay, continue. So, introduction like this will pop up each time you go to do a lesson. And it tells you what things do for like a key on the keyboard. So then I'm gonna hit X once I hit the end, and so this is what shows up. So WASD, this is what that does. It moves you on the field. Not on the field, but like your camera on the outside is what it moves. Okay, so then you see this green button on the side. So you're gonna click that, and it's gonna open up the code section. So this is the block code. Like it gives you like a starter section, and so it's the exact same thing that you'll see in the Rev, except for like a few like different things when it comes to this section here. But everything is basically the same. And so then you can, if you want to switch to onbotjava instead of using blocks, because like FTC Sims is really good for learning in case you don't have a control hub, because not all teams have extra control hubs, and you can't always just wait till practice to practice coding. So then you can switch to onbotjava, and it will always ask you if you want to translate it into Blockly code into onbotjava, and always click yes. And this is what will show up. So as you can see, this is way more code that shows up on the starter with here than it will on Rev. So this is what comes up when you first create a program. This is what you get. So you're gonna have to declare everything that's here where it declares the motors. You're gonna have to, and imports all of this. You're gonna have to do that yourself. And so like other great resources for learning would obviously be YouTube tutorials, some step-by-steps to teach you how to do things. And so thank you. This is all guide on how to navigate it. So thank you for watching, and we'll come back. Our next video will be learning to program in onbotjava for a Mechanim drive base.